And a big hello and welcome to another edition of the Metabolic Balance Australia New Zealand podcast. I am Cherry Wills and your host today, and I'm joined by the wonderful Zita Dixon. Zita is a trained chef. She is a fully qualified nutritionist, NLP master and exceptional metabolic balance practitioner. She's based in the sunny Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. And Zita, I am very, very excited to welcome you today. Hello.
Hi, Cherry. So good to be here. I'm very excited to be here with you today as well.
So when did you come on board? It must have been, 2019 or something?
Yeah, I think it's about 5 years now, actually. I think I'm coming up for 5 years in July, something like that.
Yeah. So what drew you to bringing metabolic balance to your practice?
Oh, goodness. So when I actually found out about metabolic balance, everything kind of made sense to me. I was relatively new in practice, and I had been trying to help people in so many different ways. But it was that individual nutrition that actually literally lit everything up for me. The fact that we did blood tests, that it was actually for each individual person, it just really that was the hook. Honestly, that was the thing that got me, that individual nutrition. It was so exciting when I found it.
And so you've helped quite a lot of people now.
Yes, I work part-time, but I think I'm on 170 now. So, it's a fair amount of people to help support, which has been absolutely incredible. Really, I just love it. It lights me up.
Because it's not just the 170 though, is it? I mean, it is that how much it's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
It honestly is the ripple effect. The difference that I see in my clients with their families, with the way they interact with their families, the confidence that they get within themselves, and how it just flows on through their lives. It's made such a massive difference in my life and my husband's life when he did MB. It really is a ripple effect. It just kind of goes out everywhere. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So what is it? Do you have a particular specialism now in practice?
No, I kind of mainly just weight loss. That's kind of the main thing that I do work with. It is, I don't sort of go out into particular conditions. I do enjoy working with a lot of different things. But mine is pretty much just helping people with the weight loss. And ironically, I say it's weight loss, but essentially what it is really helping their bodies become healthy so they can naturally release the weight. But people want weight loss. So there you go.
Yes, I think it's that world we live in, isn't it? This idea that it is, it's a single thing, weight loss, but actually that's a side effect that happens when you get healthy. And weight gain is the side effect you have when you're out of balance.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So you're a trained chef as well,
yes.
aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So,
I travel. I used to work on super yachts. So
I've always thought that was such a cool thing to have experienced.
Yeah, it's just the amount. I think it was one of the things that drew me to nutrition. The amount of crazy things that people try to lose weight, and and I saw some interesting things on super yachts, I can tell you.
Oh, well, maybe we need to do a whole podcast on that one. Just a
whole different thing.
Zita tells all about the super yacht secrets.
Might not be so healthy though.
So do you use, how much recipe support do you give to your clients in your practice? Or is it more of that inspiration? Sort of how I've always done it is giving inspiration for putting a meal together. I'm not a chef myself at all. So
I do give a certain amount. There are quite a few recipes where, when you join my program, I do include a lot of recipes in it as well. I've actually got some cooking videos. So I had someone come to my house and film me cooking. And so you get that real view of what it actually looks like. Just trying to impart how easy it is to make food delicious and be healthy. But I think the main thing for me is I'm very good at just coming up with ideas of what people can do with the food. So it is a lot of inspiration more than actually physical recipes. because everybody has their own way. And I kind of want to help everyone understand that there's more than just the black and white. You can change things to make them suit you.
Yeah. Because, I mean, cooking skills today, sometimes I wonder whether there's a certain block that people think they need to have, like really good cooking skills, or, even those people that say, I hate cooking. I mean, what do you say to that?
I don't think you need to have amazing cooking skills to make beautiful food. I think it's, there isn't a basic understanding of, don't use too much chili or you'll get, that kind of thing. But essentially, I don't think you need a lot of skill because the food can be so incredibly simple. You can put on some herbs, some spices, salt and pepper, and it doesn't have to be complicated. I agree. I feel that people are often overcomplicating their thought process around the food because it does not need to be complicated. I don't think the skills are important.
I think I sometimes wonder whether, even with the incredible increase we have in pre-made foods and fast foods, and sort of even in schools we're not teaching kids really cooking skills or anything like that, that people think that making a meal is actually a hell of a lot harder than it really is. It actually isn't. It isn't rocket science in any way. It just takes
really
almost
isn't.
a little bit of desire to say, I'm going to give it a go. And then suddenly
exactly.
10 minutes later, you've got a delicious meal.
Yeah, it isn't really complicated. And I know people look at me and go, yeah, but you're a chef. But like my 15 my 15-year-old
there is that. So yeah, there is that.
My 15-year-old has started cooking, and there are the basics of don't burn things, but it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think one of the things that really scares me with modern day is the reliance on everything to be done for us. We've lost the art of preparing our own food, of growing our own food, of I'm not saying that everyone has to grow their food, but of being able to take that basic chicken breast and make it taste like something delicious with some veggies. We've lost the art on that, and it doesn't have to be complicated. And if people are struggling, there are ways that you can learn the few basics. But yeah, I think it's pretty sad that we rely on the quick, easy.
I think the other thing is that it's incredibly fast learning curve, isn't it? To start realizing it's, how you can feel, first of all, when you do prepare a really nice, simple meal for yourself, and actually how, it's easy it is to do that and have the inspiration to get going.
And then funny, with most of my clients, once they realize the simplicity of it and that, it doesn't have to be 500 ingredients, they do kind of relax into it. It's kind of that when you change things, like when you start something new, it's always a little scary. But once you actually get into it, it's like, oh, actually, well, that's not as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. And of course, it's very exciting that we have got the new Metabolic Balance recipe book coming out. So on the video, I'm holding up a video of it now. And Zita, you've got 2 recipes in here.
I do. I'm so excited about this book.
So it's being published in December 2024. So it's a few months off still. But yes, we haven't had an English language cookbook, recipe book. I've always said, it's amazing to have a recipe book coming out, but with the personalized plans that we have for Metabolic Balance, it is still an inspiration and how you can take a few of the key ingredients and then mix it around depending on what's on your nutrition plan. But yeah, it is exciting. You're going to be in the International English Language Cookbook, isn't it, Zita?
I think it's incredibly exciting because it's so many different countries are involved. So we'll get inspiration from all. It's not just what we do here; it's everywhere. It's absolutely brilliant. It really is an exciting thing to see. But you keep saying the inspiration thing, and that's what it is. That's the essence of it. To have the inspiration of what to have, you don't have to paint by numbers. You can make it up yourself and sort of put bits and pieces. So no, it's a good thing. It's really excited about that book.
The other thing that's sort of jumping in my head, the other word, so you just said the word inspiration, but again, it's also education, isn't it?
Yes.
So if I say education with metabolic balance, what would you say about that?
It's such a massive part of what we do. Teaching people that you can actually nourish your body really simply and educate them on how to, use the vegetables and keep that balance. That is such a big part of understanding what the body needs, is just educating yourself, using those fresh ingredients. I mean, I've had so many people say to me, they've never even heard of some of the veggies they have on their plan. And once they actually taste them, it's like, oh my goodness, where's this been all my life? So just learning about new things and things that are actually really good for your body. Most of my clients just love it. It's really exciting. Just new things.
Yeah. And then it's that education for a lifetime of knowing how to look after yourself and going back to, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the whole essence of metabolic balance. And I think the thing that I talk about probably more than anything is not just the 12 weeks or the 6 months. It's the fact that it is a lifestyle, and it's such an important part of what we do is, yes, you can do this with your practitioner for a certain amount of time, but then you can take it and make it part of your life and actually make those permanent changes. So yeah, I love the lifestyle aspect of it. It's one of the things that attracted to me as well. Me to it.
Yeah, yeah. So have you got any clients that you would love to sort of maybe, obviously keeping confidentiality as needed, but lifetime transformations that sort of you would love more people to know about? There's lots of them, I imagine. There are lots.
I'm trying to think of. I've got a few different ones. So I've had one lady who actually she'd come from the place of really having all the ready-made food and just feeling really stuck and not wanting to, not understanding and thinking she was doing the right thing. She was on a lot of medication. There was a lot of things going on with her. I've spoken to her recently, and she's still actually following metabolic balance, still cooking the beautiful food. She's actually come off some of her medication with the doctor's permission, which was so exciting. I love that one. I've had another one who she always stands out in my mind, and I think to illustrate the power of food. So she'd had massive hormone problems, just debilitating periods her whole life, not been able to actually get up. Her first month, she phoned me and she went, "Zita, I've got my period." And I went, "Oh, are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah, I've got no pain. I don't know what to do."
Oh my goodness, isn't it incredible that that's the norm, to be in debilitating pain, and when you don't have any pain, you get a bit lost.
Exactly. So yeah, it's changed her life. Like, I've actually had a couple of ladies recently who'd done MD with me a year ago, and they've had babies. So they wanted to have babies, and now they've got their babies just from changing their body after years of struggling. So it's the power of food is so exciting. Like, it just, you don't even think about them. But yeah,
I love hearing about metabolic balance babies.
Yeah,
I just never get enough of those. Yes, that's so cool. We'll have to get pictures of those. We should have a little gathering of metabolic balance babies around the world. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yes, that would be awesome.
And so if you had somebody that was thinking about doing metabolic balance, what would you kind of like to say to them?
Well, the obvious is do it. So for me, it's important to understand that it is a lifestyle change, that it's not a diet, because in my practice, a diet is a 4-letter word. It's really about being open to change, about being open to trying something that may be slightly different from what you've been doing. So many people have come and said, "Oh, I've done this all the time. This is what I do." And I go, "Well, okay, that's great, but has it served you? Has it worked for you?" And often it hasn't. So being open to change, being open to something different. understand that is a lifestyle change, and enjoy the feeling, like the difference it makes in your body. Like understanding that can be quite incredible. But yeah, I think a lot of people are often kept back by the thought of, oh, it's something different, or is it just another fad diet? And that's the thing. It isn't just a fad diet. It is something that is a lifestyle change. And I often call it the blueprint of what your body needs. And you have it. It's so exciting when you actually know what your body needs.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and is there anything else that you would sort of love to say to somebody about the power of food from your professional experience working with just the food as medicine over the last 5 years? I think there's a lot of myth. That's terrible English, but there are myths out there that, I don't know, food only has a small role to play.
I would like to negate that.
You've been seeing this in practice for 5 years.
Yeah. I often have people that come to me and say they've been exercising like crazy for years and nothing changes. It doesn't, they can't lose weight with exercise. And then I go and ask them about what they're actually eating. Honestly, when it comes to weight loss and improving your health, the food is the most important part. If you think about it, it's actually the building blocks of what our body is made out of. Like it's literally the food we take is the fuel. And if you can get the fuel right, like for example, if you put diesel into your petrol car, it's not going to be very happy. And many of us are putting diesel into our personal engines, and it just doesn't work that well. When you nail the food, it's like jet fuel. It just really helps the body thrive. What do I see all the time? I see reduced inflammation, and honestly, it's just from the food. Reduced inflammation, hormones are balanced. The gut starts to heal, and when the gut starts to heal, everything else sort of comes with it, and then the weight can be reduced just naturally. So people do say food doesn't have much stead, but when you actually give them the right food, they change their mind many times.
Yeah, it's that actual recognition, isn't it? That sometimes you don't even realize how good you could potentially feel because you haven't felt like that for so long.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And getting that energy back because you're literally putting in the fuel that your body needs. It makes such an enormous difference. So huge. It's like if you drink a lot of alcohol, you feel not so great the next day. And if you're eating the wrong thing, you also feel not so great the next day. But people often don't make that sort of correlation there. So yes, food is everything.
Yeah. I wonder sometimes if it's just a convenient, let's try not to link that up at all because I don't want to have to change my diet. But it's not so much changing diet. It's actually as recognizing the different way of eating that means everything is so much easier.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's about choosing something that actually feels good rather than choosing something that doesn't feel so good. You literally have the choice. And so if you are struggling with something, wouldn't you choose something that feels better?
Yeah, I totally agree. So I actually would really love to ask you how you feel about the value of doing metabolic balance, because this is sometimes something that kind of, I think, is a question mark for some people. Is it worth it? What would you say to that?
Well, I'll say yes, straight up. And then I've got a couple of things. So people do often say to me, oh, well, that seems like a lot of money. And I'll often ask, how much money do you put towards your health? How sick have you been for a long time? Like, how much money have you spent on that? How much money have you spent on fad diets and things like that? What price can you actually put on your health? And then I had a client who actually sent me a message after she'd worked with me. And she said, I'm trying to remember the dates. I think she said in 2021, she had been to the doctor, whatever the date was. Let's say 2021, she'd been to the doctor 45 times. In 22, she'd been to the doctor
45 times to the doctor in 1 year. Is that?
Yeah, that was
That's
1 year.
Like and then once a week.
Pretty much. The second year, I think she'd been to the doctor 35 times. The year she worked with me, she said she went to the doctor 3 times, and one of them was to actually reduce her medication. So she spent, I think she said it was sort of $7,000 or $8,000. I'd have to have a look at what it was in those couple of years. She said metabolic balance is the best thing she ever did because, well, it saved her a ton of money, actually. Yeah. So what price can you put on your health? Like, what does your health actually mean to you? You know, a couple of $1,000 that is going to help you live a lifestyle and feel incredible and actually not having to go to the doctor. Is that worth it? Are you worth it? Because I think you are.
Yeah. Is that spending money on your illness or spending money on your health?
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
cool.
Your health is important. You have one body. You know, are you worth it? Because you are. You know you are.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of women, I always feel it's sort of our age group of women, because we are that sort of, we're mums, we
Yes.
are trying our best to look after everybody, and we're often the ones that put our health priority at the bottom, at the last on the list. Yeah.
It is so often that I have beautiful women coming to me and often our age, they've spent their whole lives giving everything to their family. And then they're sort of sitting there going, well, now what? And they don't, you know, everybody is more important than they are. And again, I'll use another one of the anecdotes that I use. If you, as mums, we're the root, like we're the rock of the family. We're the thing that keeps everyone together, you know. We're important. Now, if your rock and if your foundations are crumbling, what's going to happen to the rest of the family? So it is important to understand that you are important. And if you are strong and you are feeling good, then it does flow throughout the family. Absolutely. Make your rock strong. Be the glue.
Yeah. Well, it's been so lovely chatting to you today, and I really do thank you for joining me. And I think is there anything else as a parting little gem of that you'd like to share with about just what somebody could be doing if they're considering MB, or even if they're just looking to just do some small thing in their day that would make a difference in how easy they could cook their food or just feel.
Yeah. Being open to different things is important. And I think even if you're not going to be doing metabolic balance, the most important thing is to realize that you need to be eating that fresh, real food. You know, relying on the quick and easy. And we get so stuck in the quick and easy because we're all busy. I mean, all of us are busy. We all, you know, even here, even the practitioners, like we run businesses, we have families, everyone's busy. If you can prioritize yourself, if you can prioritize the fuel, the nutrition that you have and put in the really good stuff, you're going to get the really good stuff out. And so many of us get lost in that. So whole, fresh food makes the most incredible difference. And it doesn't have to be complicated. Keep it fresh. Use herbs and spices and garlic.
Garlic, I'm totally with you there. I absolutely adore garlic. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of it, the flavor, I think people get stuck in that thing of, I've got to eat boiled chicken and boiled broccoli. No, thanks. Ugh. Not for me.
Or salad leaves. Yeah, salad leaves again as well. I'm like, we love a good salad, but, you know.
There's a good salad and there's a bad salad.
Oh, my God, definitely. Yeah.
So you know, using those beautiful things that we have, your seasonings, your fresh herbs, garlic, chili, ginger, there's so much available to you, and it doesn't have to be, oh my God, I've got to chop the garlic. Like there's so many different ways that you can do that. You can get these little machines that do it for you. It doesn't have to be something that's a chore. And I think it's the prioritizing yourself and your nutrition, and therefore it follows through into your family. That's probably the essence of one of the things that I say to my clients is prioritize what you need so that you feel good, and then everything else becomes easier.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. Thank you, Zita. And you can find Zita on the Find a Practitioner page on the metabolicbalance.com.au website. And also the book, the wonderful recipe book, that's going to be published in December 2024, and we'll share a link for that as well, to do the pre-ordering by Amazon, because that's exciting. You can do that already. Okay, thank you so much, Zita, and I always love chatting with you, and we'll hopefully come back soon. I'd love to invite you back, and we can delve a little bit deeper, maybe into more food tips, and see where we go with that.
My absolute pleasure, Cherry. I'd love to be back.